Investigative Heath worth €20 million from the downtown 1,156 views, no ratings yet, loading. Print. This post state should decide as soon as possible what will do with the land of former Republican Stadium, estimated at around €20 million, say real estate experts. But authorities are in doubt and say they are still looking for investors. Though it's been 7 years since the Republican Stadium was demolished and politicians vied in promises. Altogether, Republican Stadium eats money from the state budget. Also in 2014, on October 12, 1996, the national football team of the Republic of Moldova debut with a win at home in the qualifiers for the European Championship, 3-2 against Wales. The game was played on the Republican Stadium, the symbol of football in Moldova, including the Soviet period. There followed other memorable matches on Stadium on Street Tiina 12, many of them played sellout. On its grass trampled some of the greatest footballers on the planet. Now only memories remain. Shaw's companies in coastal land demolished in 2007 with many promises. Republican Stadium has transformed over time into a true ruin. Access to it is restricted, and doors covered with iron, as passers-by can neither enter nor see what is happening inside. Where can be observed meters, trees, weeds, several excavations and perhaps creatures who made shelter here. Fences, some solid, some formal, boundary the Heath land from some other derelict buildings in the area. Toward Mihail Kogelnishnu Street, on the stadium perimeter, right on one of the old entrance to the stadium, there are several buildings where have their headquarters several companies, all of the business Manila Shaw, including insurance company Classical Insurance, company Mold Classica International and Dufree Mall, which owns the duty-free shops in the country, founded by Myron Shaw, father of Ilan Shaw. Officially, they are on Tiina Street 12, where previously was the address of the Republican Stadium. Toward Bucharesti Street, site of the former stadium is flanked by several other buildings, including a court for tennis, cafe and parking. Next we see a fenced place, but not used by its owners. Land costs millions. Officially, site of the former stadium covers an area of 18 hectares. Only that, almost 20% of this space, almost 1 hectare, is occupied, legally, by several companies. They certainly, in the event that a potential investor will be found for the 4 hectares remaining derelict, will not give up too easily on land held. Lately, according to data from the cadastre, some smaller lots in the area have been subject to transactions. At the same time, on the roll at the courts there are some cases in which are disputed plots of land. It is possible that, when the state will try to sell or give land to an investor, traders will appear to assert a particular feature of the land which is now owned by the state. The land is now under the Ministry of Regional Development and Construction, MDRC, and is estimated by real estate experts at an astronomical sum. I think, in the area, 1 acre of land, 1 wood, 100 square meters and 0.01 hectares, could cost no less than €50,000, says real estate expert Nicholas Ostafashuk. A simple calculation shows that if the area has no less than 400 acres, 4 hectares, owned by the state, the land of former Republican Stadium is worth about €20 million, or about 380 million lei. The figures are not exaggerated considering the fact that on ad sites, 1 acre of land near Circus in Chisinau sells for about €15,000, and for 7 acres, a firm requires almost €100,000. I think they cannot share it since 2009, when it became almost clear that instead of the old Republican Stadium will not be built a new one anytime soon. The state practically did not use this land, so that over time there is a risk that the value decrease. Expert Nicholas Ostafashuk believes that the authorities left land in derelict because cannot decide who it belongs to. It's not reasonable for the state to keep land without doing anything with it. But, I think there are interests. The best thing would be the stadium to have remained until the present. There are interests. I think they cannot divide it who and how to take it. But until then, it is more reasonable to use it for something than leave it in derelict, highlights real estate expert Anatoly Zolotkov, Deputy Minister of Regional Development and Construction, also believes that the state should, as soon as possible, decide on this land. We should make a decision as soon as possible, because there is dirt and trees grow, unauthorized. Regarding land, I can tell you that a feasibility study was done. In the present we seek investors. With no investors we cannot do anything. Now a project is going on to establish clear rules for the designation of investors. Now we are seeking. It is also summer and there were people asked. They are thinking. We will see. It remains only at the discussion. After was signed the agreement between Moldova and the European Union. I think the chances of finding an investor increased. In summer people are on vacation, but in the fall we'll probably find, says Zolotkov, who states that the last word vis-à-vis what will be in the future on the site of the former Republican Stadium belongs to the government. It would not be nice if there will be estates. We must think of the layout of the city, said the official. Vasily Talev's explanations. Republican Stadium was demolished in 2007, when the government was led by Prime Minister Vasily Talev. He claims that the stadium was demolished on the request of UEFA and FIFA, because it was damaged, and was forbidden to sports. If it was not demolished, Moldova risked being excluded from international competitions. Followed, after demolition, as from 1st of March 2009 a new stadium, with 35,000 seats, to be put into operation. When I left office, in 2008, something broke. Probably were games in government. Do not know where, do not know why. And this project has been thrown into the trash. Subsequently several allegations were made, including from the current authorities. But since the government changed, it's been 5 years. Those who criticized, why did not they do it? It means that they are unable, just talking, but doing nothing. I do not exclude that for this land in the center of Chisinau is personal and group interest, although I have no evidences. Republican Stadium is a lament and, on the other hand, a shame. In the center of Chisinau, is practically a mess, says Talev. Stadium, in the promises of politicians in recent years, including the country's leadership, has talked about building a stadium in Chisinau. Although promises have come from all, including the president, the work had not started. Octavian Bodeștinu, current Minister of Youth and Sports, said that on Monday, July 21st, had a discussion with Prime Minister Linca about this, and this week will be a meeting in which to devise more details. It is already established the place of the future stadium. It is at the exit of town, to the north. Regarding the investor, it is a legal procedure. A contest will be announced, and whoever wins it will become investor. About land where has been the Republican Stadium, we talked to TC Minister, Marcel Raducanu. He said that the feasibility study was conducted. There, as I understood, on a piece of that land is planned construction of a stadium, for training. It will not be a big one, because the site does not allow it. Main stadium must be done outside the city. Certainly, in the fall things will evolve greatly in this regard, said Minister Victor Mosnig. Victor.Mosnig@zdg.